Hi, welcome to City Vision University's Nonprofit Educational Program Design course. I'm Andrew Sears, and I'm going to give you an overview of this course. Now, this course really is an interdisciplinary course. It combines the fields of adult learning theory, or andragogy, instructional design. These would be kind of in an education department. And then also we have a lot of students who are counseling students, and the counseling field in addiction counseling, one of the domains that you learn is client education. So this would apply there. And then there's also the field of nonprofit management has nonprofit program design and evaluation. So what we're trying to do is kind of integrate all of these perspectives. In many ways, this could be considered a survey course. What a survey course does is it's kind of like a sampling of a lot of concepts. So our hope in this course is that you can understand a lot of the concepts and then go deeper over time. So the primary text for this course is Planning Instruction for Adult Learners, 3rd edition. And but you should be able to get a lot out of that. But we have a lot of supplemental material in addition to that. So one other way to frame this is most education-focused courses are formal education. So usually this is at school, it's structured, prearranged time. Usually, the motivation being extrinsic means that a lot of times people, they're forced to be there. Compulsory, it's teacher-led, and learning is evaluated. So there's tests, and it's all sequential. This course, in international circles, you divide learning into formal, non-formal, and informal. So non-formal is at an institution out of school, usually like a nonprofit organization. It could be at a church or a ministry. It's often structured. Often people want to be there. They're doing it. It's more voluntary, a lot of nonprofit organizations, they might have a training, but they may not, have a test. So some of you will, some of you won't. And then informal learning is just all the learning you do throughout your life. If you go listen to a sermon somewhere, if you, are just reading a book. And what's interesting now is informal learning, you really, it's much more difficult to get credit for, but a lot of non-formal learning, they're coming up with new ways to evaluate credit, and actually City Vision University is one of the best in the among Christian higher education in terms of evaluating non-formal learning for credit. So why did we design this course? City Vision Universities had partnerships with hundreds of nonprofits and ministries that have had educational programs for adults over the past 20 years. We compiled a lot of those best practices into a website called rescuemissioncurriculum.org. It's not just for rescue missions, but we had to give it a name. So that was the name we chose. We've also developed free courses on different education topics, disruptive innovation and education. That's what my doctoral dissertation was on. Academic, online, instructional design, and program design. And I've provided these courses for free and have had over 12,000 students. And I wanted to translate a lot of the concepts from that into a nonprofit or a non-formal environment. So you can see our education courses at our website, City Vision Institute. And part of the other reason why we've done this is our goal with City Vision isn't just to train and educate staff at nonprofits, but we want to help those at nonprofits be more effective in their educational programs. So we're, training trainers or educating educators is what we want to do. And we're providing all these resources through that. So you can see the courses here. They're also available on Udemy. The different courses that we have Udemy, you can get the mobile app. But there's a lot more at cityvisioninstitute.org. And these all are free, but they're focused on the academic context. So the course outcomes, after completing this course, you should be able to, the first part is going to be creating a philosophy of adult education based on the principles of adult education. Then you're going to focus on client educational needs and to assess those needs, generate a detailed theory of change and logic model for your organization, then research and evaluate and utilize outside learning resources. So many educators, they think they have to reinvent the wheel, so they just will spend tons of money generating everything originally, not recognizing they could have bought it for a lot less. Then educational program outcomes, designing those that follow best practices, developing a syllabus for a course, and developing a lesson plan, and then finally a retention and evaluation plan. Now, you kind of start in this course with a very big picture, and then you get more and more detailed. So, you go down to program level, course level, lesson level is a part of it. And then the outline just basically is, summarizing those topics that I had from the learning outcomes. Now, one key important part of the outline is this is an intensive course, so it's twice as much material in a typical week because it's an 8-week course. So to do well in this course, you should plan to spend an average of 17 hours per week. Now, the other thing, just to explain how this course fits into the rest of CityVision's program. So we use something called Competing Values Framework, which basically says there's 4 domains of competencies: ministry skills, business skills, operation skills, and entrepreneurial skills. And then we provide courses across all 4 of those domains. So there's related courses to this course. This course, I would say, really is in the innovation competency. It's trying to be cutting edge on education. So that's what this nonprofit educational program design course is. We have other courses that relate. We have nonprofit program design and evaluation, and we have our residential recovery program, with which often they will have educational components in that. And then we also have courses that integrate all of these materials. So one other thing, just to understand our approach, we follow constructionist philosophy of education. Many people call that project-based, but the idea is everything in the course, your reading, your videos, the tools and templates, the discussion, is geared towards you building this major project. One of the ideas behind adult education is that adults often learn by working on, they learn by doing, they learn by building, they learn by, working on some big project. So we have this project template. Here's the short address if you want to, look that up, where our template is. It's freely available online, and we have different parts that relate to the different parts of the course. So client educational needs, designing education to support nonprofit program outcomes, learning from other programs and researching outside learning resources, educational program design outcomes and outline, program curriculum outline, design and syllabus, and then down below you have evaluation. So another way of framing this course is we follow Bloom's taxonomy, which you'll learn a lot more about. You start off and you're trying to learn content retention with reading and videos. And you'll learn later, part of the philosophy of this course is we use multimodal learning. So, and the idea is, even if your preferred learning style might be, reading or, visual, there's been studies that show that if you learn both in your preferred learning style and your non-preferred learning style, then you're going to retain better. So what we want you to do in this course is go through, take notes as you're going through the book, as you're going through the video. Your goal is to remember, and that's going to be the foundation. And then we want to help you understand. So that's a lot of what the forums and the live meetings are about. And then the application. So that's going to be the educational plan components. Some of that's going to be analysis. And then in week 8, you're going to be an educational program evaluation plan. And your final project basically combines all of those things. That's where you're creating something new. Now, another way to kind of frame this course is this course fits into an interlocking pieces that each support each other. So this is nonprofit educational program design. We have this available free on our website, cityvisioninstitute.org. Then we're providing other tools in your toolkit that will help you. So, we talked about how you should try to build on other materials. So what we've done is we've done a survey of a lot of really helpful adult education materials in rescuemissioncurriculum.org. Most of these are not related to City Vision. Then for assessing client needs, we are providing our course Vocation Calling and Purpose of Work available for free that you can use. And then this course is basically focused on nonprofit educational programs. But there's another course that covers all nonprofit programs that we're going to be providing. And all of these support each other and work together. So one of the key things about this is we don't want you to just learn in your head. We want you to actually be applying this to an organization. So in week 1, you're going to have to select an organization. Week 2, you're going to need to interview with staff and clients if possible. Week 4, you will have to contact other organizations beyond just the one you selected to learn from them. And then in week 8, you're going to teach a lesson plan in person if possible, or recorded to a simulated audience if not, and then get feedback from the organization on your draft educational plan. So plan that ahead, and we provide a lot more details in this week on what type of organization to select and tips on how to find that if you don't have an organization already. So depending on what type of organization you have, basically the idea behind the major project is, the chief executive or say the director of programs of your organization has requested that you develop an educational program plan for the organization, really focused on clients. We're not focused on staff. And if you're at an organization that has educational programs for adults, then the goal would be to brainstorm ideas as if you're asked to write, suggestions on how to improve and grow the program. And if you're at a smaller organization with little or no educational program for adults, then you should write this as if you're proposing a new program. Now, I would encourage you to look at a nonprofit organization rather than a church, partly because for most churches, it's going to be difficult to do this. You can't just say, I'm going to have a Sunday school class, because if you look at how all the outcomes for this, all the requirements, it's not going to work. Now, if you're at some big church and you're going to create a whole program to raise up interns and, it's going to be intensive, lots of weekly meetings and things like that, then it might work. But if you look ahead at all the assignments in the course and look at the final project, and then you need to think about, what type of organization you pick. Because if you pick an organization that has a $50,000 budget, no educational programs, you're probably not going to be able to finish your final project if you do that. So now another way of framing this course, there's a model called Addi. And Addi is short for Analysis, Design, Develop, Implement, and Evaluate. And the way we've organized this course is weeks 1 to 4, we're going to have you do a lot of analysis, look at needs, requirements, participants' current capabilities. Then in weeks 5 and 6 is where you're going to be doing most of the design. So program design, course design, and then in week 7, you're going to develop a lesson plan. And then in week 8, you're going to implement your lesson plan and evaluate that. Now, the reality is that for each of these levels, the program level, the course level, and the lesson level, so, there's many lessons that make up a course. You might have many courses that make up a program. For each of these, you should be doing design, develop, implement, evaluate. So we're not going to be, it'd be too much work for this course to do design, develop, implement an entire course or an entire program. So that's why we're just doing that part for the lesson plan, but you're creating an evaluation plan that would cover everything. Now, going a little deeper on our philosophy of educational program analysis and the steps. So you're going to be working on an educational program plan. And in week 3, what you're going to be looking at, so you need to do internal stakeholder needs and priorities. So what you're going to be looking at there, you're going to be looking at the organizational mission, the program outcomes, and program staff input. So for many organizations, you're going to have an educational components of a larger, program. So you might have a residential recovery program or at a rescue mission, or some other organization, and you're going to have educational components of that. You might teach them life skills, you might have GED, but they also have other things like case management and maybe work therapy that aren't a part of the educational program. And you need to understand, how does this fit into the org's mission, the program mission. So week 2 is looking at needs of students and employers. So that's external stakeholder needs. Then week 4, you're going to be looking at availability of outside curriculum and materials. Like we said, we don't want you to reinvent the wheel, but you're also going to be learning from other programs and educational plans. And all that is going to be components of your educational program plan. Now, that's a summary of the big picture of this course. I want to just give you an overview of week 1 learning outcomes. So in this week, one of your assignments is going to basically be summarizing the principles of adult education and the characteristics of adult learners. And then to apply the principles of adult education to develop a philosophy of adult education for your context. So hopefully all this is helpful. I'm really excited about this course. I think you'll get a lot out of it, and I hope that you use all the different components that we're providing in this course. So thanks a lot.